Abusiofo, yes, I'm a Kwaba Sonko but counseling time with counselor DY Donkoh.
So today we're talking about humility in the relationships and also in marriages.
Right.
Now, yenti bibiasi Valerie. Say the antidote ni bemwa.
Right.
Na ye pese ye chere se saa de ye beken esaya de.
Right.
Eyi ni pe free ohaw mu. Na boa nipa awona wade ene ne dada setrem ni mprantwe mu.
Okay.
So what is humility? Humility is your willingness to put others ahead of yourself.
Okay.
Humility is the willingness to put others ahead of yourself. Now, you know when we say it like that, it sounds so easy. It's as if it's an easy task. Say, Ofa will be a kind of when you share swim. Whilst you are also thinking about yourself, whilst you are actually thinking about yourself, you want to focus on yourself. Somebody appears and then it seems as if that person sometimes must be the first and you are the second.
Okay.
Humility is when you give out your freedom, not because you are cheap and weak, but because you know what you want.
Okay.
And who you want to become. Well, today we are talking about humility in relationships and in marriages. You say, what is humility? And he actually say what they will pay to. Now will be a foul pen. On Tietias, name will boo. I wrote something here. I said, pride must die in you, or nothing of heaven can live in you. And I repeat, until pride dies in you, nothing of heaven can live in you. Baby, a journey a hand time wo. Onyame asumdwe ntumi ntena ho. Asumdwe so nyankropon na di manipa. And I want a hand ten awia enya hombrase. I also wrote, I said, without humility, you cannot forgive.
Okay. Very true.
Without humility, you will insist on your own way because you are selfish. Where you have envy and selfish ambition, there you find disorder. Baby, ahomrasie ni. Ahomrasie nedi. Yetu infa bone nche. Obi ene o ye dwa ya antan a o ka me pa ocho. De dwa ene hantan woni mu me pa ocho kan ye ne den. Eya ne se wo kasa na nimu nyam, ne position, ne tibia so ate. Okay. Eti baby a hantan wo a ahomrasie ni wo ye fa bone nche. Enye me wo wase wa wade mu. Utumi fa bone nche ya homaso. Enya ahomrasie. Wo ma ahoso a eya wo se wo ne pa wo chow. Wo bro ho ase a eya wo se me na me pechow. Without humility, I said, you will insist on your own way. Naturally, say, baby, a journey a hand time wo de me pen na me yo. Ti ma wade wo de but de me pen na me yo. Enye de wo be ka kire me, ene de wo pese me ye. Ahomaso no no. Sa no wakasa. O ye dwe. Enti waya de na enye wo pese wo ka. Hey, ade ya. Waya ye. Onti ase akona ko wu. Ba baby a umbrase wo. Wo fi ase se wo kan. Wo yes wo toto na no anase ko dwo tobo. Adwo atobo. Ti de oye na enye. Otie mu yo se me yere mi kunu. Fa cheme. O ma me ni kura ewu. Umbrase enche no waka fa cheme. Dwane a hantan. Itumo dem papa. Kebegu an kingu. Se wo twe na ma be pa wo cho dia and wo betra se ewu. Esan se me peme kwan enya wo kwan.
Ye ka bone fefre asem na ye ka counselor empempi no relationship na ye ka ho asem na anasa awade no dane da nyina ese ne ketere makra wo moko na se wo monte wo ho ase ntokwa bi asi na wo pese wo de che nipa no na nso ususu se chena me de che no e wo se me pe kwan kro bi a me fa so a metimi ni nipa na tena sumdwe mu a enkofa saa de na nsa mabi na eno na kire se nipa no humility ya ye ka ho se ma na ahobrase no woni bia na
Ne ye kan se awade mu ntokwa nsi mentimi ho ase na esi.
Right.
And I repeat, awade mu we don't fight, we argue, we don't understand each other. ti awade mu ye nkontokwa na mo mentime ho ase na eba
Right.
mentime ho ase esanse baby a ofiri ba de baby a me firi ba no ye ntie ho ase nti ye ntie ho ase is different from fight.
Right.
Nti ye ntie ase se wo ye made na ye meya na mantie ase na me kokan wa mpa me chewa e homa so. The question now obusa ni nyina ne se keterema ene asimpoku yeko. In other words, we don't understand each other. We can argue. Even the most successful happy couples, they argue.
Right.
It is a argue and cheresa we matamfo. Man to wase wadi aka ho and cheresa sabi minim nyansa na biti wo fom. Tina man te wase ki etu sheda ye twen ya. And then from afar so be a chiro ka bete wase. Because sometimes your environment and where you are at a moment can actually contribute to your understanding of things.
True.
Enti bia wo kan that time bisika semo nye pressure bi da me so me ge no atwa so se man ti wase na wo kan na me kan ya de wo fom ye won che no wafra ka chose adwo a we de sorry wo fi na akasa na maso aye hye me sorry se me tia o kwadwo we de me sorry se me tia o we move on. Se wan kasa na ye wo se maka isan se me ye be maka isan se me ye wo ba ye dwe.
Okay.
Ambarasi no wo yesa awade no wa mo ayen ubegu no.
Okay.
Nana me kasa nyina ne kasa for humility in relationships and then also in marriages. Ne kire say number 1, humility is a choice, not a gift.
Very true.
Humility is a choice, not a gift. Yet you pray for God's assistance. God resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. He didn't say he gives grace to the humble by gifts. So God is actually saying to you that that your brain wants it. So God is actually saying that if there is anybody I can walk with, I can bless, I can be with, I'm looking for humility in you. Another word for humility is meekness. Ojo, wemre, oya bote, unjimi sabe. Nemo munyansa bro so ase onyame de pagya ono hwe ase eti miye minyo bia ma adwene mu do se onyame otumi pagya otumi so hwe ase otumi boni pa hwe ase ene ma menhwe mu yi. So whenever you see somebody expressing humility, it tells you it's a level of life. When I talk about the level of life, I'm not talking about the cars he drives. I'm not talking about how many mansions he has. I'm talking about how mature they are. So somebody can be rich, not matured. Somebody can be average, very matured. Somebody can even be poor, but very matured. So one of the attributes or one of the characters of a mature person is humility. We can't talk about maturity and you will not see humility. Then you are not matured. You are matured because you've been taught, you've learned lessons, you've come to a conclusion to understand that everything I am is of God, not by my strength.
If you are not humble, you can't respect. If you are not humble, you can't even be disciplined. Humility.
Thank you. So understand that humility is not because you said I'm sorry. Humility is because you live it as a lifestyle. Do to me and think I say, maybe you're very humble.
Man.
But what do you want? I'm here the most me have the most humble, like me breme once a man become here. Me breme one. There be you are not the one to actually tell us you are humble. Your lifestyle, your character, even your speech.
Right.
You will say it. So you don't tell people who you are. They know who you are by what comes out of you.
Right.
And so I am saying that humility, it's a choice. It is a choice because you make a choice to be humble. I made a choice to respect, therefore I need to be humble. Once selfishness is killed, buried, humility takes the position of pride. Eti obi bia be woni so obre no once be has made the choice to be humble, because as I sit in this chair I can also make a choice to be very proudful. Like be a dwe say ye pon me nchia obi a o chia me so amenje so say nchance nya by force
Right.
amaso exactly menya bofre bi di ka keto bi ka single room bi renti edwane ahantani de woni bie The wobia when you be abrosoti as you say, abrabo, sika is not everything. They are very humble. They only be or chereno. Tina me chere say, when it comes to relationship and marriages, humility, hombrasia wa wadimu, and one panachimu, that's it. Remember that humility is a choice.
Okay.
Eti pacho sa homaso we are ni etu for asero se me pacho meri homaso. Another word for homaso is ego.
Okay.
When a man can actually proud in himself who he is. Me na me ye be ma ofia. Me na tia bills. See the American no number ofia. Onya fa onioma. E pride ni senior brother na aka say friend ego.
Okay.
Humility is a strength, not weakness.
Wow.
Check a man who has been positioned very well in society and nobody will tell you who they are. You see humility.
Okay.
Let me tell you this. A man of humility is promoted. A man of pride comes down. The other day, if you think it's a story, I am a child of God, I believe in that. It's not a story, it happened. When you're in a tusuri, and a bra man homereso.
Right.
No, see, today I will become like him that sits on the throne,
right.
The devil. He came down. Why? Because God does not share his glory with any other man. Listen to this. When humility becomes your strength, the heart of your spouse comes to you. You don't call it. Understand that love has to do with your soul and your spirit, not your body. The feelings within you is from your soul, your spirit, and not your body. Right. When your soul understands the language of love, your body expresses it. Eti otiasia na atiasia odonye de me honam kire me odo yade bi atimi mu atimi kremu a beti atenka ba bia wodo odo dware o ahomrase tra so. Okay. Once you love, is it not wonderful that to be share wo ba na be me bia ne ne den ha ko ne den o to be tishodom no I dom bom o say hey yeah no dey say ko ne den. Na then I say, "Suddenly Lucia Akwe, as why you weak amano, as why you bomamano, I say, there be your injustice in Samo. So many a dimpa only passo, but or dear, maybe I be many a becoming in a micun dear. The year the me found corner so right. So you understand that when you love, you become weak. You are not weak. That is your strength because when you love, you expresses humility. The reason why a stubborn woman who would not want to listen to anybody, a stubborn young man who will not want to listen to anybody, at this time decide to pay attention to the voice of a lover is because humility is a strength. Okay. Near to aswa. Near kase. Baby ahumrasie de. You see the person admit mistakes and apologize for the mistakes. Where and when you see humility rings, somebody admits mistakes and apologizes for the mistakes. Etini e chere say baby ahombrase wo odo de bone chentem no sanji ni fumsuo tum no agye atum say ampa me na me ma obufu ye fa che me yere fa che me biku baby ahomase wo I'm sorry can it den no one kanda na asanka say etu ni sorry ka o say ti utwa so aza na yede debi man kan utwa so na yede o de bibia pe sorry answer o de sorry why. Have you see those people? Only the cast it is me the me pa chwana. Oh they sorry. Hey. Oh can sorry they say amrasie mu na wo kan free. And now the all teaching how to the soboje. Oh they sorry why? Watch esi ne conclusion no. It be can sorry one. Additional sanka so they say me you dey bi. Wakasa na me can sorry endra. Endra chi me can sorry. They say then na me you bi. They obey bi aye na ma bro. That is not humility. Right. Humility does not insist on itself. Humility is very open to listen, obey, and take a step. Okay. So humility reigns, they admit mistakes. To share wabana bema wawadim and pranchim. Now if they don't admit mistakes, they don't admit mistakes and they don't apologize for them. Please, these people don't express humility.
Okay.
The next thing we can actually talk about is that where you see humility reigns, they accept their shortcomings and not just their mistakes. Nemere yo. Are you flirting with her? Or say, yes, I'm sorry. Are you cheating? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Are you cheating? Cheating. Debbie, who be saying? Debbie, who are there? Where son your money na be cheating, and then your first, because what you are doing, actually, and it took you know what you doing. Okay, Miss Cramini evidence. I'm interested. I didn't know there is some can be go fukra. Or some trying to come and say, hey, koyach me. I can't take it here. I don't know what you charge me. All right. So, in marriage and in our relationships, if humility rings, they accept their shortcoming. Or jitum, they kokonye kakra. Na no kasanya or jitum ampa. That is my weakness, and I've accepted it. But pride will say no. It is not true. I am not like that. What the idea is me. Me say nobody is perfect. We are talking about humility in marriages and relationships. Sister, where you see humility, they avoid nagging and bragging. Baby, I'm Rasia, what pass over Shia Marasia, Nabesia and Guja, Ed. So, baby, be genuine. Wa baby chanenum enu dwa ayo mo chefa
cathedral na yesi no me wo fa kra na ye de contract na
yeah hey tum me uncle never pajaro eni la kusa say me what's your son here tie pa jam guy no ba no madam for pa they do use ben sana ya oko now so any ebi akakra no do mehwo we ya to buru amount ya to lie about. All right, so where you see humility rings, please you avoid bragging.
Right.
All right, the reason why most people brag in relationships and in marriages is because they are over familiar with their partners.
Okay.
And so when you are not familiar with the humility, you can't be bragging. You could be a shabo basa. To say that you can lie you. Masa, suddenly you can saw the fee so say P. That you said you buy ice cream, you did that every day you lie. No. Say see and uncle so you lie.
Right.
Another sign that you have humility or humility actually reigns in your relationship and marriage is when humility is having the will to change. Humility is willing to change. And to be a woman, Brasia no, the soon in the bank, ye can't assemble for one or yet in when ye juma as son. The oye journey a hand time, you be can't die, the watina and what one ready to change.
Okay.
But baby, I'm Marasio, Ocas Aquajo, Ocasan Becasanye, Aquami, Senian Becasanye, Abba, Senian Becasanye, Nanaya, I think that Ocasanye, they are willing to change. Why? Because humility, you cannot, express humility and not change without having to change. So be oya ombrase ni bia only kasafa ni subia nya ho a they want to work on it and change. And 20 hours hey what was say na me so be song. The reason is that where humility reigns, people are ready to change. Pride will let you say that me, I will not change. And so most people are so full of pride, so full of themselves, they don't change. It's like ubetumi atla ho untumi a ko. And so please, humility is willing to change.
Okay.
When humility is in your relationship and marriage, humility does not dominate conversations. Humility does not dominate conversations. Wa yeri di kunu bonko mo be me ni wo be ya wo mo shawari e bonko mo ahombrase wa me yedi ntiu na mpo pepesa me di manutuma me di ahombrase ni wuram. Ube jai kasa no atimi ana untimi. No, me say now so kasa. Me see ube timi ana untimi. Untimi, I'm not ready to listen to you. No, they asheshe na so and I was sorry no. Humility does not dominate conversation. O ahombrase na ukunu wo yere bema ana wo ba obeware wo no kasa wo to buti wo nhye ne se wo de na wo kan obi kra tumi kasa wo se makasa wi wo yes wo kasa so no de makana no anu no final I'm not ready to listen to any rubbish but so oyere ni si okun ni si ono ayelam na most of the time remember na yes sir or se makasa maybe wo yes wo kasa I don't need any explanation maybe and that's all. You don't dominate conversation like that. Right. Conversation has to do with two people communicating. Now, babasa unkwana kasadia, then ahombrasie ebinu. You allow yourself to be teachable. Okay. Where there is humility. You allow yourself to. That's what my queen say. There be our ban in the kasa obemanu. Ube siya die free kasenim. Pacho what I say? We will be a woman who can say, "You see, the enemy that is a sign of humility, because pride will never accept that." And the last of all, the humility. Oh, I love this one. Oh, master, where humility rings,
right?
It checks your speech.
Okay.
You cannot be humble and speak to your partner anyhow. You cannot be very humble and they use certain words against your partner. In your speech, you reveal maturity. Because you didn't say something you said well. I'm sorry. So wow. They proud themselves and say, "Hey, miku meyere." When we see humility, we see it through your speech.
Right.
Okasa krachere. Jeni kasa, uze jena abai. Ah mitio. Kasa, uze. Oba kasa na on kasa me bentemu. We need time to masa nsem hunu. Kasa pride. But when you see somebody keeps quiet and listen, you go like, "Bacho wakasa wi. Bacho meyere medasi miku. Bacho medasi. Nyami shira." That is humility. So whenever humility rings in marriage and relationship, in their speech, you can identify and know that we are embarrassing. Now, can I conclude to say this? If you really, really want to enjoy your marriage, please have humility in your marriage. Have it in your relationship. Because without it, the woman is to submit, the man is to love. Submission and love comes together. Humility. Without humility, you can't submit. Without humility, you can't love enough. Pride kills. It kills a nation, it kills an individual, and it has also killed successful people. We came to tell our followers, our family, that Jack, I beg you, I must go there, I must go there, baby, to be patch of Bema, Bronwasi, Siadia, Tioyere, Tiokun. And with humility, your marriage and your relationship will go far. Thank you.